Welcome to a Monday episode of Vaygrim's Chance. I am, of course, here in the observatory. I've been working on some more preparations for, the demonic invasion. And I actually had to bust out something I've never had to use before in blood magic. This is a first to me. I had to bust out the alchemical calcinator and, alchemical router. It's set to incendium. I'll show you why. And cleanser. Actually, I haven't been needing this a lot unless I made a mistake in routing things. So, okay, crystal bell jars. We made 8 of these things, right? Here are 7, and this is number 8. This is the last thing I need. It's incendium. I did these off screen because it's a lot of confusing, weird, like mechanics. I'm in terms of linking and right clicking and shift right click. Wait a minute, did I get it right and stuff like that? This is one of these instances where there's no GUI. And both of these tools could be replaced if this thing just had a GUI when you right-clicked it. All these problems could be solved if we could just have a GUI to right-click and then stick the bell jar in this thing, but that's not how it works. So, crystal bell jars, you have to get 8 of these things and fill them up with specific substances. Terra, Aether, Sanctus, Potentia, Magicalis, Aquasalis, and Tenebrae, plus incendium, which is what this setup is for, the last one. Incendium requires all of this stuff. It's just simple catalyst. We've gone over how to make this. Netherrack, blaze powder, and of course up here, we need to let's get a lava bucket. I'm actually just going to get a few of these things. Let's do, I don't know, 4. But one of these up here, and it's going to think about it for just a second. And we get incendium. Plus, I got to take that thing out. Now, I need to get the incendium into here. Specifically, I need to get 16,000. Now, if you look at this right now, if you look just above my armor bar, you'll see 1,000 and then a little symbol specifically for incendium, right? It's a little icon. So right now, this is holding 1,000 incendium. That means that every single one of these jars holds 16 of this thing. Right. So the next step is the calcinator. How do you use the calcinator? Well, actually, let's look at first Calcinator. Let's look at some recipes. Calcinator is pretty simple, actually. It's strengthened catalyst, which is too simple, and then bone meal and netherwort. That makes 2 strengthened catalyst. And then you use these things called cracked runic plates. I was confused by this until I saw what it was. Well, it's concentrated catalyst, which is not simple, not strengthened, but concentrated. Step 3 catalyst, basically. 2 tier 3 slates. You put them in the chemistry set, and boom, you get cracked runic plate, which is interesting. So you make some of those, and then it's just glass, some strengthened tier 2 catalyst, some cobblestone, and you get a calcinator. Once you get a calcinator and put it down, I put a hopper on top of mine. You can get, I think, any blood orb will do. Let's see if the weak blood orb will work. You right click on it with your blood orb, and that basically that heats it. This is what's heating the calcinator every time I put something into it. Then I can either right click on it with my incendium or put it in the hopper. If we put it in the hopper, it goes straight in. And here in a second, you'll start to see it's going to do its work. And then it is already set to transmit. Well, here we go. Automatically, it is sending that incendium over here. So let's make another one of those. Basically, what I have done is you shift right click on this when it's got incendium in it. And then you right click. And that links this to that. And you'll see these particles where every time the calcinator gets incendium, it will send it automatically to this bell jar. So this bell jar has now 2,000 incendium in it. It's kind of confusing. This thing, by the way, is actually pretty simple to make. It is strengthened catalyst, that's tier 2 catalyst, with 2 quartz rods. Quartz rods are really simple to make. And then it's just 2 stone, 1 stick. So the alchemical router is really simple. The alchemical cleanser is a little bit more expensive because it's 4 quartz rods. And it's just 4 simple catalyst. That's just the basic catalyst at the bottom level. Let's make some more of these. Dun, dun, dun. And you can only put one of these at a time, not one element, just one unit of one element. So I could only put one of these 3 incendium in there. And see, it takes them instantaneously, one at a time, melting them down. And you can see them right in there. You have to click on this thing one at a time. Well, the hopper does that for you, basically. And slowly but surely, you'll see more and more incendium get transferred over to this bell jar. And as you fill them up, it gains the tinge, almost like it's getting filled with gas. It gains the tinge of whatever essence you are sending to it. We got one more in there. Okay. Let's get some more lava. Let's just do that. And we can make some more of this incendium. I have an exact measurement for the 16 that I need. So it should be that once I go all the way through this, we will be good. And I wanted to do this calcinator stuff on camera specifically because there's actually not a lot of videos out there for the blood magic calcinator. So I thought I would cover it and go over it. Let's see. Now, I'm actually going to redo the linking stuff. There we go. Now I can toss those back in. Okay, let's see if I can. Destination list is now cleared. I don't see any particles, which means it's not linked to anything. So it should be that if I just right click with an incendium, you can see it in there, right there on top, under the glass, and it's going to disappear in just a second. And this fills with a little bit of that kind of like gas almost. It's like incendium gas. And I am going to shift right click to denote I want to set the attuning crystal is set now to incendium. So I'm working with incendium. That's the element that I'm concerned about. That's what I want to actually route around places. Then as right click, linking to selected container, right click, container now linked, transmitting incendium. And it went up to 6,000 and this is now clear, you see? So I'm going to put the rest of those in there. And if you hold either your cleanser or your alchemical router over your target, you'll see that 6,000 count. I can also see right here, see there's 20. It's disappearing as it shows up. Do we have any more left? Yeah, we do. And you'll see it'll go up to 20. It's immediately sending it over here. And the color inside of that glass is getting darker and darker and darker. It's basically going from transparent to opaque. I guess that's how I would explain it. So let's get, how many more? We need 5 more buckets of lava. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need that right now. Click that out, click that in. This is really simple, really easy to do. Every single element I've gone through like this, and I wanted to save this last element to do on camera so you could see what the process is. And it's pretty much the same thing. It's just the only thing that's going to change for every different element combo, every different reagent is what's in these slots. But otherwise, that's it. That's the only part of this entire equation that's going to change. And this should be the last one. Dun, 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 there we go. We can now liquidate those back into EMC. And if I put this in there, it will add, whoa. There we go. You can right click and take them out once they're in there if you don't want them processing. And we can watch this count go up. It should go up to 16,000. I think that's the maximum storage for each one of these. I do warn you, today's episode's probably not going to be very long. I have been very busy with some behind the scenes stuff. I'm trying to get a web shop set up, a shop set up for merchandise, things like t-shirts and mugs and I don't know, wall art, let's say. things of that nature. I think it would be very, very cool. So I'm working on that, and we'll see if we can actually get that done here in the course of the next day or so. It's also the fact that we're working on season 4 stuff. We're working on the mod pack. We're developing, like building sets for the final episode of this series. We got a lot of stuff that we're doing in preparation. I'm still trying to figure out when I want to do this because a couple of the guys, like Dark Preacher and his 7X Shadows, are going to be busy over the course of the next week or two. And I don't want to delay it that long, but I do kind of want to do the demonic invasion when as many people as possible can kind of watch and participate. Okay, 16,000. That's it. That thing is full. This, if you hold your alchemical router over it, it's empty. If I wanted to, I could get my weak blood orb out. I'm actually just going to leave it there. And now I can add this to the collection of preparations. So it requires 128 ritual stones. I have 128 ritual stones. I actually have a couple spare that I made, some extra, because I just made a big batch of them. And it's in storage. Bell jars, 1, 2. Yeah, Potentia and Alcasalis. There's a couple of these that look very, very similar to me. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 8 ingredients that I need right there. There is no good way to organize those. And yeah, I've got the activation crystal already. I've got the divining rod for setting up the convocation of the damned. Let my phone on. So we do shift right click, ritual. Let's see, ritual of speed, well of suffering, ritual of regeneration, feathered knife. We're looking for convocation, ballad of alchemy, aura of expulsion, dome of suppression, call of the zephyr, reef of the harvest moon, cry of the eternal soul, focus of the ellipsoid. There's a couple of these. I don't even know what they do. Song of evaporation. I think that just evaporates liquids. Sacrosanctity. Veil of evil. Requiem of the satiated. That's beating yourself automatically. Convocation of the damned. There we go. We can even see 128 total blocks. So it basically does 36 blank stones, 36 air, 8 water, 24 fire, 8 earth stones, 16 dusk stones, and then 8 dawn stones. Now, if I remember right, I can't remember if it's the dusk stones or the earth stones that are across the top. And that's where you put the 8 bell jars with the 8 different, I think it's 8 of the dusk stones are across the top and another 8 are around the back on the ground. And you put the bell jars on the very, very top of the dusk stones and link them to the actual ritual stone in the middle. We still need to make a ritual stone. I haven't made one of those. I just realized that, but we've got everything prepared. So I'm going to plan. I don't know if I'm going to do this Friday or if I'm just going to wait and maybe do it later. I don't know. We'll see. I might see if I can do it this weekend with a whole bunch of the guys and then air it on Monday, but I'll figure something out. In the meantime, I realize these episodes have been kind of short. We are waning down on the last days of Vaygrim's Chance Season 3, but we're not forgetting about things. We're trying to go out with a bang, and we've got special things planned for you. I will talk to you folks later. Thank you very, very much for joining me. Bye-bye.